Hello, everyone. It's episode 55 of the group chat, our week 12, and the last, if you like, regular week where we're going to be with you every day because, of course, the Premier League returns with United back in action from Friday. And delighted that the lads are with us for the new week. David May, Ben Thornley, Danny Webber, Wes Brown. Boys, morning. How are you?
All good, Stu. Good morning, mate.
Morning, mate.
All good. Back to normal, Ben. Back in your Mediterranean hideaway, clearly.
Yeah, I flew out yesterday just to make sure I had a bit of sun.
How was the weekend? Everything good?
Quiet. Yeah.
Golf? Come on, mate. You must have played golf.
Golf was Friday.
Right.
Golf today, golf tomorrow. And now possibly Thursday. Having just heard some information come through on the grapevine.
Oh, right, okay. And United were in action on Friday. 2 games against West Brom. 2 entirely different 11s. I suppose that shows you the strength of the squad going into the new season, where you can play two entirely different but strong 11s.
Don't all speak at once, lads.
No, it does, Stu. It does. I think it's nice to have everybody back fit for starters.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's like a first pre-season game where the lads are just finding their feet again, and I don't think it's a true reflection on what's gonna come out. When the season kicks off again in a few days' time. I just think it's about getting minutes for the lads and making sure that they're all topped up as ready as they can be due to the situation.
Yeah, Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes did play together as well. That seems to be the thing that everyone's talking about at the moment. But if you're top players like that, though, surely you can play together, can't you, Maisie?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. No reason why they can't. It's happened before and it'll happen again. I think Fletcher was very good on Friday.
Yeah.
Then that you have to work together. Obviously Bruno loves to get forward, Paul loves to get forward. And you do it in turns. Or you go together and you possibly have Scott there sitting or Matic sitting and let them get on with it. But as Danny just said, it's about getting. It's very difficult coming straight into football without having games. So that game could have been been great for them. As much as it's only one game before we go into I'm sure we might have another one this week, but I don't know. But if we can get another game, that'd be great.
Yeah, no, it does make you look forward to the action, which starts on Wednesday. United starting on Friday. Worth mentioning today as well. You may well have seen it. Marcus Rashford has written to MPs in a plea to the government to extend the food voucher scheme for kids into the summer holidays. He's sort of food poverty is something that he's got personal experience of, something he cares deeply about. A lot of people obviously talk about footballers as role models. Well, Danny, there's a perfect example, and there's an example of footballer as a role model, Marcus Rashford.
Yeah, he's using his platform, perfectly. I mean, a lot of people set out with the intention, say they're going to do a lot, but he backs his word. And it's at times of crisis like this that you see who steps up, and he's been, he raised £20 million for the charity, I think, and
fair share, yeah,
fair share, and he's just continuing to make an impact. So he's got a voice. He's making sure that he can speak for the many that don't necessarily have the platform. And fair play to him.
Yeah, Wes, he's doing extraordinary work, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done a great job, and I know obviously it started over when lockdown started. But he's trying to continue that now. I mean, as we know, not everybody is back into work. I know it looks like it is when you maybe go outside now, but there's a lot of people still struggling, and he's trying to keep the help going, and it's actually brilliant what he's doing.
Yeah, Ben, it's amazing. It just shows you what you can do with your fame, if you like, as a footballer. You can put it to that sort of use that could genuinely change things.
Yeah, and I think that at the beginning of all this, football in general came in for a lot of stick from the senior MPs, and it was undeserved. And I watched Marcus's interview this morning, or part of it that they put on the BBC show, and he was absolutely brilliant. And what he's done is nothing short of miraculous. He's, as Daniel has said, he's used his platform to make his voice heard, and used his own personal experience. And Manchester United as a whole, and now going down to individuals, I think they've been sensational throughout all this. And Marcus Rashford has been the epitome of that with what he's managed to achieve over these last 10, 12 weeks.
Yeah. Just have a look at Marcus's social media platforms.
Tell you what, it'd be interesting to see how the government respond.
Yes. Yeah.
Because as Ben just touched on it there, they were very quick to have a go at footballers. And you got Matt Hancock there, the health secretary, who called out the footballers.
Did, yeah.
And, you know, Marcus has now called him out, or I hope he does, personally as well, because, you know, we're in 2020. No kid should be going, you know, hungry without food. And Marcus has got a perfect platform. It's good, you know, he's going to be with England for the next 10 years. And if he keeps driving it home to the government and to these people who, you know, allegedly looking after all the kids, then it should continue. He's doing a great job, and he should be very proud of what he's doing. He really should.
Yeah, and we should all be proud of Marcus Rashford. Take a look at his social media platforms today as well. Support him. We're going to start the week on this show with two guests, actually, both former United players, and both have just led their clubs to league titles. Richie Wellens has clinched League Two with Swindon Town. Mark Robbins has won League One with Coventry, and they're good enough to join us today. Chaps, how are you? You okay?
Very good, thank you.
Good. Congratulations to
congratulations
to both of you. It's going to be a strange way of winning it, though. It's no open top bus tour for you, is it?
I'll go
first.
Yeah.
Go on, Rich.
No, I don't know what Mark's planning on doing, but we haven't had no confirmation from Sky Bet or Sky whether we are having a trophy presentation, but we don't know when it is. It's going to be in front of no fans, which is kind of pointless, but we've got to do it. So I think myself and Mark are two clubs that we've been atop of the league the majority of the season. And I think out of all this points per game scenario, I think we're probably the only two clubs that really deserve it. I think Rotherham have got a little bit lucky in League One and a couple in our league as well, especially Tranmere have been lucky in League One, but we've been top for the majority of the season, so I think we deserve it, but it's horrendous circumstances. I've not even had a drink. I've not even seen the players since we've been promoted, so it's been tough.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. If you've done anything, seen anybody, or it's almost like it's on paper you've won it, but nothing's actually happened for you.
No, so we're still furloughed, so the players can't come in. The ground is shut. We've had a couple of these Zoom meetings, but once the lads have 3 or 4 pints, and they seem to just chaotic. You know, you have to unmute everyone because the language is a joke, and you've got kids running in the background, and it's not suitable. But we're planning on meeting the lads in the middle of the week. The Sky Bet are going to send some champagne and some flags in, so hopefully we'll be able to have a little drink together and half celebrate it best we can.
And Mark, your story is remarkable, really. I mean, you're a club at the moment with no home. You've been playing your home games, I don't know, 20, 30 miles away at St Andrews, and you've managed to win the league. I mean, that's an extraordinary achievement.
They've been brilliant. In fairness, Birmingham City have shown loads of class. I've said it a load of times. You know, it's very, very difficult to ground share. They've welcomed us with open arms, which is a new experience for us. And we had a brilliant surface to play on, so we could play football a little bit. We were followed across. There were about 7,000 supporters had come over. You know, I think that if we end up going back into Coventry, we could easily sell 20,000 season tickets when crowds are back in next year. The club's been starved of any success, and the last 3 years since I've been in there, it's been an unbelievable turnaround, and that's down to everybody. That's down to the board, the recruitment department, the staff that I have, everything. It's a big, big team effort. It's the same as Richie. And at the end of the day, nobody can diminish the title and the awarding of that title, because I saw Richie, because we played against them in pre-season, and I said at the time I thought they'd have a really good season, and obviously they've gone on to do that. And likewise with us, you know, we were really good. I've enjoyed watching us this season as well. It's been an easy job for me because the players have been so good. So yeah, let's see what happens. I think we'll be similar lines with Richie, but we'll just wait to find out what the club have organised.
Are you going to be back in Coventry in the Championship, or you don't know?
Who knows? That's the $1 million question. There's a lot of talking going on. You know, I'll wait until they let us know what the definitive is, and then we'll deal with that from then. But clearly, we need to get back into Coventry as soon as possible in our own stadium. So, you know, when we can do that, we can take the club forward without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, properly. So you can start to compete at the top end. Going into the Championship next year, we'll have the smallest budget in the division, so we've got plenty to cope with in the first instance. But you know, it's a tough league. We all know that, but we'll carry on doing what we've been doing over the last 3 years.
Whose decision is that about the ground? Because I've got one of my very good friends. He's a massive Coventry fan. He follows them all over the place. And I saw some of the scenes after you had actually been given the title, and, you know, pubs were opening up and God knows what else. So they are very, very passionate. But whose decision is that? Because as you just pointed out, you're going to the Championship. You need your own ground, and it is a great arena, the Ricoh Arena.
It is, yeah. Listen, it's been going on for a long time, and it's historical. So it's been prior to our owners coming in. There was this issue raising its head. A lot of things have gone on that you wouldn't believe, but ultimately the ground's owned by Wasps, so the lease is owned by Wasps, and the council run it. So it's their decision at the end of the day. I'm sure I know we're in conversation, and really they're talking publicly. So there is a chance. You just got to wait and see. And I think from the club's point of view, we're being realistic. I think that's the biggest thing. We have to try and help as well, and try and use that or build relationships that have clearly suffered in the past, and that's the biggest thing for me. If we can get back there, we can really take off.
Mark, Rick, just going forward now. So we're middle of June now. What's your plan for the next month, 6 weeks for pre-season? I know it's still a little bit up in the air, but when do you get the lads back in to start training again?
Well, at the moment, we've penciled in that the season's going to start around the 12th of September, so we'd be back pre-season for the 1st of August. But at the moment, we just don't know. We need the Premier League to come back and run smoothly. I think if that runs smooth and the Championship runs smoothly, then I can't see there being any problems. But the biggest concern for me is that when I took over at Swindon, I had 25 players. I didn't like 21 of them, so I got rid of them. Total. That's just the way it is. You have to be ruthless, because he couldn't do what I wanted to do. So got a squad of players together that could actually half compete in League One if we went up. And now we're offering them cuts, you know, and they're all turning around and saying no. So I might lose 7 or 8 of me starting 11 and have to start again. I don't know what the situation is at Coventry, but we're just not in a position at the moment to offer. I mean, you should be winning promotion and lads should be celebrating a rise in wages, and we're actually offering them cuts because we was going to make a profit this year of about £500,000 because our last 5 home games were sold out. But we're actually looking at now a 1.2 million loss. So we can't really commit to any contracts until we know if fans are coming back in the ground, really.
That's the problem in League One and League Two. Because of the split in the TV money, you get an 80-12-8 split. So Richie's will have had 8% of the TV revenue. And it doesn't really go anywhere. And clearly then it becomes a major issue for Leagues 1 and 2 because you've got no supporters coming through, which is your lifeblood. So Championship, and that's why they're playing, because they have 80% of the television revenues. And if they didn't play, then clearly there'd be a bigger knock-on for the clubs down the pyramid. So it's been really important, and clearly that has to take effect somewhere down the line, and players getting salaries at all is a big plus for me, because there's been no income since March.
I know in League Two they bring the salary cap in, aren't they? Are they going to do the same in League One as well?
They're looking at it, yeah. They're looking at that, and there was a salary cap of sorts. There's a salary cost management protocol, which is should have been 60% of turnover, you know, but clearly that hasn't been happening, and they're going to need to do something where it penalises club with it's going to I don't know, it's points or whether it's fines or whatever. I don't know what they're going to do. But it's going to be interesting to see how they do it in the Championship. I don't think they can, because you've got that difference in the Championship where you've got Premier League clubs coming down with parachute payments, and how you do that, I'm not sure in the Championship. But clearly in Leagues 1 and 2, I think that's going to happen without a doubt.
Richie, I wanted to ask you how much you've learned in the short time you've been in management. Because I remember speaking to you when you had a disappointing time at Oldham, and yet you went to Swindon and they were, I think it was 18th, League 2, and now you've got them to win the title in a short amount of time. How much you've learned in a short amount of time as a manager? Loads.
Well, Wes was with me when we'd done our coaching badges in Ireland, and I didn't want to be a coach. I'd gone over there, and it was like a stag do, if I'm being honest. Wes will tell you. And when I'm starting my B license, I'm like, this isn't for me. This isn't for me. But I still had a contract in football, so I still had a living, and it wasn't the be all and end all. But once me finishing my career, all of a sudden you have to go, right, what do I want to be? Do I want to be serious? And the difference from when I'd done my B to my A was totally, I was more confident, I'd found my voice. And then when you get chucked in at Oldham, I didn't want the Oldham job. We played 11 games, won 1, drawn 1, lost 9. I'm saying to the chairman, I don't want it. I want to go with Shez. We couldn't score a goal. And all of a sudden, we beat Portsmouth. Portsmouth was second. We beat them. Peterborough, Blackburn were top. We won 4 out of 4. So you get thrown into it, and you're like, okay, this is a bit of me. I'll see what I can do. In the next 17 games, you get 32 points. Brilliant. And then a new owner comes in, wants his own ideas, gets to January, the last day of the January. This is just a little story about how it was at Oldham. The last day of the January transfer window, we sat there all day. I'd put 15 players to him. No. 9 o'clock, I say, right, I'm going home. There's 2 or 3 hours left of the window. I said, I'm going home. Why are you going home? We can still... I said, I've been here all day. I put 15 players to you. He just sat there eating pizza, just wanting to be part of the Sky Sports, all of this. So anyway, I go home. I'm driving to training the next day, and I switch the radio on. I'm 10 minutes from Oldham. New signing, Wilfred Mwimbi, is looking forward to making his debut for Oldham at weekend. I'm going, who the Wilfred Mwimbi? I'd never... So he'd signed someone behind my back, things like that, and then it just went from bad to worse. Players were coming, and that's why Shez half walked, because brilliant learning curve, because I was the kit man, I was the reserve coach, the first team manager. I had no help because all the staff had gone. But brilliant. And now I go in at Swindon with Lee Power, and he just says, Rich, there's your budget, sign who you want, there's the keys to the club. And I've just been allowed to get on with it, and I've just loved every single minute of it. From where, when I got sacked at Oldham, I thought I didn't want to be a manager because of the stuff what went on above your head. They just didn't enjoy it.
Does any of that sound familiar, Mark, or not?
Some of it, yeah. I think, I mean, you won't realise it now, Rich, but it'll stand you in good stead all the way through. I remember somebody telling me, Graham Taylor told me that, because my first job was at Rotherham, and we went into administration, and we had a 10-point deduction coming into administration and a 17-point deduction coming out. So we started the season in League Two with minus 17. The only saving grace was Eddie Howe at Bournemouth had a minus 17, and Mick Harford, who was at Luton, had a minus 30. So we would have finished 5th in the league if it had been because we played a virtual league that year, pretty similar to this year, I suppose. But we've, there's a lot of learning. I've not had the imposition of players, but in fairness, I've been fortunate with the chairman that I've worked with.
Where's this is not tempting you to get into management, is it?
No, not at all. Sorry, Rick. No, I just wanted to ask. No, like you said, you could be losing players, Rick. Can you even start looking at players now?
Well, we can, but to be fair,
can you get in contact with him still?
In contact with all my players, but the players that are being put to us, to be fair, the agents are saying we don't really know where to pitch our players at. And we've give a rough idea of what we can pay. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to give a certain level of contract now. And then once there's a guarantee of supporters coming through the ground, then the wages go up, because we can obviously get... But we would have sold probably 8,000-9,000 season tickets. You're talking £2.5 million that we can't sell at the moment. So it's difficult for the chairman, because he actually invested a little bit more in January, because we had a chance of going up, knowing that we would fill the ground for the last 4 or 5 games. So we just don't know where to pitch the players. We've tried to give them a job. I've just said to all the players, stay in the game. Make sure that if other managers are ringing you up and saying, we can do this, we can do that, if they're not putting it in paper to you, they're probably just trying to leave you lingering for a little bit. So we're offering them contracts through email, so they've got it and they can fall back on that. But there comes a time where they need to make a decision.
Do you still feel a big link with United, though, Richie? Because your lads in the under-18s, Charlie, turned pro, doing well. Do you still feel close to United?
I support the club. I've still got 2 season tickets. I try and go as often as possible. My youngest lad's in the academy as well. But in terms of Charlie, it's just he's going through the same experience as what I did now. Hopefully he'll manage it a little bit better than I did. It's just an opportunity. He signed a 3-year contract. He's at the best club in the world. Technically, he has all the tools to be a very good player. And all I can do is try and not make the same mistakes I did, be more professional. For example, when I didn't have no guidance when I was a young lad, 16, 17, 18. So now he's every day, he's with a fitness instructor that I've sorted out for him, making sure his body is best he can be. And then obviously the mental side of it, the knockbacks that are going to come his way, I can hopefully help him. because, like I say, Wes will know more than anyone. The amount of mistakes I made when I was 17, 18. He made the same mistakes, but he never got caught. I was always the one who got caught.
Ireland, what was it? Northern Ireland, you got caught, mate.
I've never known anything like him. It's frightening. we went to the Milk Cup once, and you know what it's like. It was 15, 16, it was under 16s, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we camped up in a hotel, and me, Wes, a couple of us, we sneak out. We're getting up to a few things that we shouldn't be, and we're just, go on, you go first. Anyway, Wes goes first. Blah, blah, blah.
Good sprint I had on, though. Right? I had a good jog on.
Well, you're quicker than me, aren't you? So, 15 yards behind him, I'm just walking up the stairs. All of a sudden, Paul McGuinness, Tony Wheel and Dave Bush will come out on the side. Where have you been? I'm thinking, where's Wes? I didn't say it. I'm thinking, where's Wes? I always used to get caught. Fair play to me.
I remember opening my door. I by then quickly threw my pajamas on. I opened the door like, oh, what's going on here? That's Rick getting told off by Paul McGuinness. It was brilliant.
Pajamas.
I can't believe it. You in pajamas.
Always, mate. I've got them on now. Look, I've got my Star Wars on today.
Oh my God, yeah. On that point of Richie, do you think you could have done? I mean, obviously you played the one game in the League Cup for United. Do you feel you could, and then you had a terrific career elsewhere? But do you think you could have done more at United?
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, because I was different. I always used to go away with England, and I was in midfield with Steven Gerrard, and he used to say, I'm going to find it tough to get in Liverpool's team. John Barnes, he's playing centre mid. I was like, John Barnes, he's 36 now. He's only going to be gone in 6 months. Roy Keane, Scholes, Giggs, Beckham, Nicky Butt, the best midfield five for me that you're going to see as a combination in the Premier League. So it was tough. But yeah, Stuart, I was a shocking professional when I was younger. Shocking. In terms of, I had the technical ability to play, but my mobility around the pitch, I didn't work on my body. When you're 16, 17, and Wes will tell you again, the first day that you sign professional, you get a 20 grand sign-on fee. You've gone from 50 quid a week to probably £1,000 a week, what it was back then. The first thing me and Wes was done was down the old shop
to the pub.
Suit. We'd spent it all in a day, hadn't we?
Take to the pub, mate. You wasn't that bad, Rick.
Well, looking back, I was, and that's why I try and help young players now, because it's, when Mark said you learn from the best, you do, but I also learn from the mistakes that I made in terms of my advice to the young players as well. I could have done a lot better. Listen, I've done okay. I had 5 or 6 years playing for Leicester. I turned down two clubs in the Premier League when I was at Leicester, because Leicester agreed to extend my contract and give me more money. Again, another regret, but listen, it is what it is. I enjoyed my career, so hopefully I can advise Charlie on. I probably should. The biggest regret is, I say I had no guidance. The guidance was actually within the football club. The top players who were 21, 22, 23, they'd gone through what I wanted to go through in the next 4 or 5 years, and I never tapped into their advice. I always looked at them and probably shielded myself. I was a little bit scared of them at the time. Yeah. But I could have definitely done better and asked for better advice from the lads. Strong dressing room, characters are massive. And I think if I would have asked them, they probably would have given it me.
Yeah. Mark, can I just ask as well? People still say you saved Sir Alex for that goal at Forest. Martin Edwards says that wasn't the case, but what do you reckon? You reckon that was the goal that maybe might have just changed history?
No idea, but thankfully I scored a goal. And for me, it was just about getting a chance in the team. There were a lot of injuries, and I got a chance in the team, which was brilliant. I managed to score a goal. But when you've had a career like I had, and I scored quite a few goals, not just for United because I wasn't there that long. No. But I scored quite a few goals. You'd think I only scored one in my career.
Yeah, that's right. When you look back, though, do you think, well, I could have done more and I could have stayed, or was it time to go?
No, I pushed to go because I wanted to play more. And looking back, that's a regret I've got. Like Richie, you have some regrets, and I was offered a 3-year contract. He offered me a 3-year contract, Sir Alex, and I turned it down. And you look back and you think, what if? But I went to Norwich. I had a great time at Norwich. Went to Leicester after that, and then I had a sort of career where I bobbed around for till I was 34. But I enjoyed every club that I went to. I got a load of varied experiences. Always followed United. Always looked at them. They were magnificent. And would I have got in that team? No, because I think they sold me and they bought Eric.
Just finally on United guys. I mean, obviously the season's starting again on Friday. Richie, are you thinking United could top four's what it's all about, I suppose, and we're still in 2 cups? What are you thinking for the end of the season?
Well, I think the top four is a must. If they want to sign players like Sancho and other top players, then I think the Champions League's a big attraction to them type of players. So it's not an easy one, because you've seen Mourinho, he's had the players running in the park 8-9 weeks ago. So one thing now, they will be ready to go. There won't be any bedding in period with Mourinho, and especially playing against United again. So it's a tough one to start off with, but the signs are good. Fernandes and Pogba are obviously the big ones. If they can get a combination going and learn to play with each other, like Martial and Rashford feeding off, and then we've got some top players now.
Yeah, Mark, what's your gut instinct for what's going to happen for United end of the season?
Well, fingers crossed they'll be in the top 4. They started to look like they were clicking, and since Fernandes came in, they looked a lot better. They've got some injuries back. Rashford's a big one, and Pogba's a big one. So hopefully they can all settle in. But as Richie said, as everybody knows, when you've been out for a length of time, it does take a little bit of time to get back. So hopefully it can all click. Don't know whether everybody's been watching the German Bundesliga, but without supporters, it's totally different. We've got to get used to that as well. But looking forward to the return of it, in fairness.
Yeah. Guys, it's been brilliant having you on, and congratulations again for performing miracles, to be honest with you. Really appreciate it, Mark Robbins and Richie Wellens as well. Thanks, guys.
Cheers, lads.
Boys, well done.
Okay, MUTV at manunited.co.uk if you want to get in touch with the show. We're back again tomorrow, something slightly different. Ollie Mers is the guest on tomorrow's show, so join us for that. For now, have a good day, guys. See you later.
See you, fellas.
In a bit.
All right.